Hey guys, this is Alicia Chilled Out, and today I'm going to give you my Etsy horror story. This is going to be a little change of pace in video. Like, I'm not going to try and edit this too much. This is just going to be a story time about why I'm no longer on the platform and a bit more in depth about what actually happened. So in November of 2021, I opened my Etsy store. My intention was to sell wax melts, and I came up with this really cute design, like it was wax melts in a tub. And my wax melts were like different colors, and they were shaped like little mini donuts. They were kind of like a bit bigger than Cheerio size. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But that was my whole design. And I had loads of different flavors, well, not flavors, different scents. And I thought to myself, yeah, this would appeal to the average Etsy seller. But I quickly learned that I was wrong, and people weren't really interested in my products. I think it was mainly because there were so many similar items to mine on the market. So why would anybody come to my store, like a brand new store, and buy from me when they could just buy from somebody who's already established? From November to 2021 to probably at March of 2022, I didn't really have many sales, and I'd probably get like 1 or 2 a month, and that is hardly anything. And it was kind of in the back of my mind that I want to change this, but I didn't really have an idea of what to do. So I'm really big into baking. So I decided, why don't I try and make bakery style wax melts? There were a few on Etsy that sold that kind of style, but they sold multiple things that kind of style. So I thought, let me just focus in on just my style of wax melts, which is bakery style. So I was going to try and sell cookies, brownies, all that kind of stuff. So in March or April of 2022, I launched my first new item, which was a brownie style shape wax melt. So it looked like a little piece of cake, like a piece of a brownie, and those were going to be my wax melts. I'm not joking. Within the week of it being up, I started getting sales left and right. I was just like, yes, I've actually found something that works. Obviously, I was super happy because, from going from 1 to 2 sales a month, I was getting like 4 or 5 sales a week, and I was just like, this is really exciting, and sometimes multiple sales in a day. And yeah, I was just very, very happy about what was going on, and I was finally seeing some success, and I was just like, this is great. Let me come up with loads of different other designs. So I came up with the cookies, but these were like mini cookies. I came up with like a lemon meringue pie, like just loads of different things. And I noticed once I started getting more sales, I started getting these random messages anonymously from people saying, what you're doing is wrong. I'm going to get your store shut down. What you're doing is illegal. And I was just like, what the hell are they talking about? What is this? What is going on? Obviously, I'm scared because I don't want to have an illegal store. I don't want to be doing something that's wrong, or I don't want to get in trouble. So I went onto Google and I started looking online, can you sell food-based wax melts and all that kind of stuff. And when I looked into the laws of it, it's a very gray area. Nothing is in black and white. And don't quote me on this because I'm not a lawyer, but what I've heard is your wax melts have to fall into all 3 of these categories, which I'll name in a minute, in order for it not to be able to sell. So it has to be either smells like all of these, it smells like food, it looks like food, and it's a choking hazard. Mine didn't fall into all of those categories. So I'm thinking to myself, this is fine. The reason why, because you didn't have to, let's say it's brownie, looks like a brownie. It didn't have to smell like a brownie. It could smell like, I don't know, baby powder, like a baby powder scent. So people aren't automatically going to think, oh, let me eat this because it doesn't smell like the food. So I'm thinking to myself, this should be fine. This should be perfectly fine. And so I carried on selling my wax melts. They were clearly labeled. They had the warning labels. They had the little thing on the back, which had all the stuff that was actually in the wax melt. So like the scents and the breakdowns and the allergies, all that kind of stuff. I clearly put on it, this is not meant for children. Please supervise anybody who's who may confuse it with food. It was very well, it had the warning labels on it, unless a person couldn't read or something like that. It was just very obvious, this is not a toy. This is just something that you use for scent in your home. This is not something that you eat. I was still getting these messages, and I went to Etsy, and like I said, their customer service is really, really, really poor. And they did nothing to help me. Because they're anonymous, they couldn't tell me what was going on. They just kind of, it's like, oh well, it's your problem, you deal with it. Like I said, I started off with brownies, but when I started selling the cookies, like the cookies that you see on my channel, I had little mini ones. That's when people started, like the anonymous messages, and sometimes not even anonymous, just stores that had nothing on it. Well, not stores, but like people that had Etsy accounts that had nothing on it, no sales and nothing, so you couldn't really find out who they were. That all just went into overdrive. I started getting messages, I want to say a couple times a week, from people saying, I'm gonna get your store shut down, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna get you locked up, or you're gonna do, like, I was just completely blown away. It's like, why are you so involved in my business? Like, why do you care so much about what I'm doing? Like, why don't you focus on what you're doing? Or like, just leave me alone. If there's a problem, Etsy will surely come and, you know, deal with it themselves. Why do you feel the need to place yourself in a situation that doesn't concern you? Like I said, there are tons of stores now currently selling very similar items to what I sell, but they were bigger, and Etsy didn't seem to care about those. And there are, if you look on Etsy right now, you type in something that you know shouldn't be sold on Etsy, it's there. And it's like one of those, like, if I can't see it, this is how I get like the impression from Etsy. If I can't see it and I'm getting money from it, I don't care. But if you tell me, maybe I'll do something about it. If you're a smaller store, but if you're a bigger store, carry on doing what you're doing. Like, you know, we're getting some profit here. I was getting loads of messages, like I said, from anonymous people telling me that they're gonna get me reported to trading standards. I'm gonna get all these fines. I'm gonna get you locked up. All this kind of stuff. And I just couldn't understand what was going on. Like I said, I was getting lots of sales during this time. I was made a star seller. My products were featured, literally featured on the front page of when you look up Etsy on not when you look up Etsy, but when you look up wax melts on Etsy, my products were featured. Like, you could say these have like high ratings. Like, on the very first page there was my wax melts, or if you type in food wax melts, mine was the first thing that came up. Or bakery style wax melts, mine was the first thing that came up. And obviously I was really happy, and I just tried to ignore the messages. And throughout that year, that's when I got most of my sales. And when it kicked off in December, obviously the Christmas rush, that's when I got tons of sales. And I think in that short, like, 2-week period before Christmas, so like from the 1st of December, or maybe even like the last week of November up until maybe mid-December, I made over £1,000+ in sales from wax melts. And obviously I'm like super happy about this. Like, you know, my store seemingly seems to be going very successfully, and the only thing I have to worry about is these random anonymous people sending me messages about a very gray area when it comes to wax melts. So I just kind of blocked them out of my mind and let me carry on doing what I'm doing. If Etsy has a problem, or if somebody official has a problem, they'll come to me, and I have no problem listening to them. So the Christmas rush is over. My products, like, you know, the sales, you know, on Etsy, you have seasons where everything is like super busy and then it slows down. But like I said, I had designed my products really well. I came up with stickers and packaging, and everything was just done really well. And I was going into 2023 planning what I was going to do next, and new products that I was going to try and launch and everything like that. And for the first half of that year, everything seemed to be going well. Like, obviously, like I said, sales have slowed down because, like I said, you have seasons. People aren't really buying wax melts in the summer. So I think to myself, this is a perfect time for me to come up with new designs. Anyway, in June of 2023, I wake up in the morning, I go and check my phone to see if there's any new sales, anything that I need to do. And I noticed that one of my products seemingly has become like, it's no longer there. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, maybe that sold out overnight and I just need to renew it. So I go from my phone to a computer and I just double check, and I notice that it's not listed anymore. And I'm like, what the hell was going on? I click on the the actual product. And I'm just like, this isn't making any sense. And it's unlisted because it's been taken down by Etsy. And I'm just like, what the hell was going on? And then I go to my page and every single item that I had was gone. Like, gone. And I'm like, what? Is somebody come and hacked my account or something like that? And then I go into like the settings page. It's like you can go and see like your stock levels and all that kind of stuff. And every single one of my items, the ones that weren't even sold out, were taken down by Etsy. And then I go to my emails and I see that I've got an email from Etsy and saying that your items no longer fit the Etsy guidelines and they've been taken down because they're restricted items. And I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? So obviously I'm, panicking, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm obviously very upset about what's happening. So I reach out to Etsy through email, and because I was a star seller, I reached out through the chat. And like I said, their chat and their customer service is dead. It's just super crap. It's just not good at all. And they gave me the runaround. They're saying, oh, this shouldn't be happening. And then they do nothing about it. They don't reinstate my items. They don't, nothing is done. Nothing is done to help me. Like, I must have wasted like a month trying to figure out exactly what happened to my store, to my items, and everything like that. After a month of just trying to figure out what was going on, I just decided, you know what? I'm over this. And because they didn't help, my items, I'm not even going to bother trying to relist them because that cost me money, and there's always a chance that they'll get to get taken down again, and then my store will be officially closed because I still had my store. My store was still open, but I had no items to sell. And I had all these products. I had all of the actual wax and the fragrances and all these things that I had bought. I was just under the impression that I was going to have sales, and then I have all this stuff that I can't do anything with. And it turns out somebody who was jealous, or just one of those people that had been randomly messaging me or anonymously messaging me, had went around and reported every single item from my store. That was the only conclusion that Etsy could give me. Somebody had reported every single one of my items from my store and got me shut down. Well, got all my items taken away. And obviously I'm very upset about this, and there's nothing that Etsy can do, even though there are tons of stores selling similar items to what I do, but they can't reinstate mine. And it was just one of those things. And it wasn't even like copyright. It wasn't even like somebody, it wasn't like I was pretending to be an Oreo. It wasn't these were just cookies that looked like chocolate chip cookies. I didn't even, you know what I mean? It was just one of those things. And I couldn't understand for the life of me why this was happening. Why they would let my store go, but bigger stores, like I said in my previous videos, they don't care about. Etsy does not care about you. All they care about is the big stores. But we will try and keep within the community guidelines or the store guidelines for the smaller stores, so it looks like we're actually doing something. So yeah, this person or whoever it was, or multiple people, reported my items and got my stuff taken away. And that's why I don't sell on Etsy anymore, and that's why I don't use Etsy as to sell anything, and that's why I don't buy anything. Me and Etsy, we're ops. That's it. Yeah, that was just one of the reasons that not one of the reasons, the reason I don't sell on Etsy anymore. And it was just a very turbulent time, but exciting time because I was making sales. But it was just one of those things that I couldn't believe that was happening, and how people are allowed to get away with threatening people. And do you know what was crazy, even crazier? One of the people that actually messaged me from, it wasn't an anonymous account, it was an account that had nothing on it. They actually opened their own store long after they had sent me that message. I had deleted it. They probably thought that I had forgotten all about it. And I noticed that they were selling wax melts. And what type of wax melts do you think they were selling? The exact same style. Their wax melts, I don't want to be arrogant and stuff like that. Their wax melts were very poorly made. They had no sales, but their store still exists. And like I said, the bigger stores selling very similar items to me. I'm not saying they did it, But the bigger stores that sell very similar items to me, they still exist, but my store got shut down. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And yeah, that's why I don't sell on Etsy anymore. I know I'm not like a very good storyteller and I ramble a lot, but if you enjoyed the video, if you stuck around, thank you very much. And if you didn't, oh well. So yeah, that was my Etsy story. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. If you have any like your own Etsy stories or Etsy horror stories, please let me know in the comments below. Well, thank you for watching. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, peace.